Some of the best wind players I've ever played with, I've been blown away at how much club they use when they're playing into the wind. All right, folks, time for another Emergency 9 tip from the sleeves, and today we are talking about playing in the wind. We got the perfect day for it. It's probably blowing 20 miles an hour right now. What do I do when it blows like this? First off, I normally don't play golf, but if I do, I got a few tips that I like to follow that helps me navigate the wind, and I'll share them with you right now. All right, so right now we got about a 20 mile an hour wind in and off the right side, which for me is one of the toughest winds. I always try to fight the wind and play a flight that, in this case, I'd hit a left to right. If it was the other way, I'd try to draw it a little bit. But there's a couple main things that I do when I'm playing in the wind. First of all, especially when you're into it, club up. Even if it's a 1 club wind, it's okay to take 2 more, sometimes even 3 more. Some of the best wind players I've ever played with, I've been blown away at how much club they use when they're playing into the wind. Secondly, I like to crowd the golf ball just a little bit. So if this is my normal distance from the ball, on a typical shot, when I'm into the wind, I like to crowd it just a little bit more. It allows me to stay on top of that ball, keep the flight down a little bit more. And then lastly, I just try to abbreviate my backswing and my follow through. I don't want a lot of speed coming into the golf ball. The more speed, the more spin. When you get it up in the wind like that, it becomes really hard to control. So those are the 3 main things I think about when I'm hitting shots into the wind. All right, so those are the 3 tips that I use when playing in the wind. I hope they help you. And last thing, always remember, most important, when it's breezy, swing sleazy. All right, folks, this time we are talking bunker play. Now this one comes with a couple disclaimers. 1, this should not be used in tournament competition. 2, this should not be used when gambling for significant amounts of money with your friends. But if you're out there just playing with your buddies who are idiots like my friends are, this is an easy way to get out of a bad situation. So we found ourselves here in a deep bunker, below head high, not a lot of green to work with, straight downwind. Terrible spot to be in. But my friends who are all over there, they can't see me. So here is an easy way to make it look like you just became a really good bunker player without actually being good. There's 2 main keys when pulling off this shot here. The first one is in the thump. You gotta thump, you gotta create a lot of sand so that your idiot friends who are over there not paying attention, all they see is the sand. And the second one is the timing of the throw. It needs to come right after the thump so that it appears to be an actual golf shot. Allow me to demonstrate. What a shot! All right, so like I said, this is not to be used during A, tournament play, or B, gambling for significant amounts of money with your buddies. But if you're out there just with your idiots, this is a very easy way to look like a short game wizard. All right, time for a little driving tip from the sleeves. We've all been out there on the golf course, hitting it terrible with the driver, hit it left on one hole, hit it right on one hole. I know we all want to hit beautiful, high, far drives, but sometimes just eliminating one side of the golf course can at least make the rest of your round playable. And I'm going to show you a tip that I use when I'm struggling hitting it left and right that just simplifies things. It's not the prettiest in the world, but it gets me in position, keeps me in the fairway, and at least gives me a chance to play some good golf. All right, so on a typical day, if I'm driving it great, my tee height will be somewhere around there. That's about where I tee it up. That gives me some room. I can hit it up in the air, try to move it out there. When I'm driving it bad, and I want to eliminate one side of the golf course, which to me is the left side, it's really simple. All I do is I just move this tee height down about half of what it was before. So now that ball, it's still sitting up in the air, but it's down pretty low. And when you're hitting a driver, it gets really hard to hit a draw or anything that turns right to left from this tee height. So with this, I can just aim down the left side of the fairway. I know it's going to be a little lower, maybe not quite as far, maybe not quite as pretty, but it's going to be in the fairway and give me a chance going forward. Just like that. So am I giving up a little distance? Yeah, but that ball's a little lower. It's not gonna go as far offline. It's moving left to right every single time, so that gives me the entire fairway to work with. If you're missing it both ways on the course, give that a try.